Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, El Shai, Ba'ashem, Al Rakar, Kodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders, the great Millstone who rule well, and Shalom to the whole Vorlet. This is Payal of the GMS London Camp, and this is News and Prophecy, Prophecy and News. I have an article here from the Sunday Times, alright, and the title reads, Plainclothes Police will patrol bars and clubs to protect women, alright, and I think I may have mentioned this at the camp, but if I didn't, no matter because I'm gonna say the point anyway. But basically, this whole thing has happened with Sarah Everard, the woman that went missing in South London. Who basically they're saying is allegedly was kidnapped and murdered by a special forces like police officer that guards like diplomats and all that kind of stuff. Basically, it's been like an uproar. It's been a hot topic for the past couple of days and whatnot, and spurred a lot of like hashtag enough is enough. She was just walking home. It's garnered a lot of attention. It's kind of like akin to George Floyd, but just concentrated to white women as well, but mainly I'd say predominantly white women in the UK and London specifically that feel that men are super predators, and protesting. As you can see, it's one of them says defund the police, which is bloody extreme, for something like this. Women's rights and human rights, it's galvanized the troops, so to speak. But one of the things I look to the thing to say, Kuba, as the apostles of Great Millstone, my elders that I learned from, they taught the saying "Cubono," right, which Latin saying which means who benefits. So when I look at something like this is something that, like racism, it's never going away. It's a fact of life. Like death, birth and death is a fact of life. So is racism. It's just a staple in life, all right. And also, and so is the fact that women can be taken advantage of, all right. They rape, murder, kidnap, all these things, they're never gonna go away. There's people that, as the Lord said in the book of Sirach, there be spirits that be created for vengeance. All right, the wicked were Proverbs 16:4. The wicked were made for the day of evil. All right, so all these things is the balance. Sirach 33:16 on to 18 or so, where good is set against evil. So this is a fact of life, but the outcry will still lead to contingencies being put in place. All right, they're gonna have to do something to like they're making an effort to protect women, and lo and behold, it feeds into the agenda of over policing and monitoring the people and all this type of stuff. So I'm gonna go into this article. Says bars and clubs will be patrolled by plainclothes police officers at night to protect women from sexual harassment and assault. All right. So now you're gonna have police officers patrolling in bars and nightclubs, plainclothes. They're gonna be in the thick of the action, and it doesn't look. I'm gonna read on actually because I ain't read through the article, so I'm not too sure what it's gonna say. So hold my tongue. It says Boris Johnson announced measures last night in an attempt to reassure women after the killing of Sarah Everard. Pilot schemes will be run across the country with more patrols to identify predatory and suspicious offenders. The government is doubling a fund that provides deterrents such as better lighting and CCTV. Oh, look at that. So now they're going to make it us where the people are being watched and policed at all times, all right, due to this. And they had a controversial bill that they were trying to put through. I think I might do a video on that because I had an article I was meant to do it yesterday. I didn't get a chance though. But dealing with the bill the Conservatives are trying to put through, off the strength of protesting. They wanna regulate how people protest, and one of the main things that raised the eyebrow was that they'll be able to push laws without it having to go through Parliament. All right, so amongst many other draconian laws that they wanted to implement. So this is convenient that this is now happening. This whole uproar and everything, and it was a police officer that did it. That now, in the midst of that, under the guise of what they said, previous protesters and whatnot, like Extinction Rebellion, all right, all these different people messing up, traffic and whatnot. That's the guys, but it's convenient that at the same time when these protests happen, and there's a great uproar. So it says, reading on, it says, Johnson said that the Everard case had unleashed a wave of feeling about women not feeling safe, adding we must drive out violence against women and girls and make every part of the criminal justice system work better to protect and defend them. So another way that they can police the people, all right? And all these things, this is biblical prophecy that I'm reading about. That's why I'm going into it. But at the same time, all these things culminate into the times that we're in, a time like never before, and it's gonna be, another, how to say it go, another feather in the hat of the RFID technology, the image of the beast, and all that, because this all feeds into it. All right, GPRS, GPS, so where the women's walking and all this type of stuff. That's a possibility, So reading on, it says Dominic Raab, the foreign secretary, said he felt very personally and very piercingly that the streets needed to be safe. That is why we're increasing the number of police by 20,000, all right? So there's more bobbies in a beat. He told Sky News, we have heard new measures to make the streets safer with CCTV and lighting overnight. And the thing with over here in the UK, the lighting, I believe it's going back to like 2005, 6, because I was out unseemly hours. But I remember there was a change around those years. It may be in about 2005, 6, 7, 8, around that, mid to late 2000s, where basically they changed the street lighting. I can only speak for London, all right? That they changed the lights. I don't know what original bulbs they used, but they changed them from the bulbs they had previously to LED lighting. And the lighting of LED, I believe it makes it don't do no favors to the human body, but it basically is a brighter light. It just works. It's more advantageous, all right, to CCTV, all right, but at the same time it also disrupts the people. It's not good for your system, all right. Light pollution, all these things. We have got 2 bits of legislation going through the House of Commons to increase the sentencing, but clearly we have to do more, all right. So that, what does that speak to? A lot more is going to be happening, all right. In terms of legislation, they need to be given more power to regulate, to keep the streets safe from rapists. And these are a concentrated amount of people, because let's really deal with it for what it is. Women at nighttime, they'll be scared if someone like myself, for example, dark skinned, tall, if I'm walking down the road, I have no interest, I'm just minding my own business, but they see me, all those fears that they're speaking about is going to be raised up, and they're going to be feeling like they got to put their keys in between their hands and all that type of stuff. That's a fear that's within them, all right? Shit, man, I forgot my point. Yeah, that's a fear on their part. There's nothing like to then it becomes like one of the things that was said they wanted to do was to basically bring a curfew about where men are allowed out after 6 o'clock, which is nonsense. But you never know, they could do that shit, man. But basically, all the things that it's one of those, like, women want to have their cake and eat it, all right? But this is all, they're all, lesser points. But the main point is, it's something that really can't be governed, and the only way it can be governed is by extreme draconian measures, all right? That's what it speaks to. Raab, 47, a karate black belt, added on Times Radio that he had once helped a woman being harassed on a street. The culprit left with his tail between his legs, he said. Everard's Remains were found in Woodland in Kent last week after she disappeared near Clapham Common in South London on March 3rd. Wayne Cousins, a 48-year-old Metropolitan Police officer, faces trial for murder in October. Parts of central London, including Westminster Bridge, were brought to a standstill last night as protesters took the streets to demonstrate for women's safety for the third day running. Dame Cressida Dick, the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, rejected calls to quit after police arrested women at the vigil for Everard at the weekend. Johnson and Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, expressed confidence in Dick. Alright? The independent police watchdog announced an investigation into a probationary constable involved in the Everard search, who shared an inappropriate meme understood to involve graphic descriptions of violence against women. It did not contain images of Everard or from the investigation. Alright? Now this video here,
I came here on Saturday because I, like a lot of women, was really...
Lord willing, I remember to attach the video in I'm gonna copy it now so I remember. But Lord willing, I attach it so you can check out the video. But it speaks to, really, this is a demographic. It looks like this is a controlled demolition in my eyes. Last year we had George Floyd, galvanized BLM, and I think BLM is like, let me say the first point and I'll follow up. But so be it galvanized, so-called black people, around the world protesting, sharing their stories of how they feel, things need to change, and nothing really happened. They just pandered to Jake, man. Because you niggas are, can buy a nigga cheap, as the apostles, quoted, man. And that's really true. Like, it don't take much to please fucking retarded niggas, man. But the point being is that nothing really came to fruition. There was no change. BLM really garnered more power, Antifa and all that type of stuff, as to where they could, pull some strings and do certain things. But that's neither here nor there. More to the point that now, with this, there was a demographic that was touched, and it kind of established, a reaction to the people, all right? That everyone had to, move and, be a part of it. Even if you weren't aware of it, you kind of had to be aware of it. I believe it was Nancy Pelosi in kente cloth, dressed like she was from the Ashanti region in Ghana or some shit. But basically, all of that stuff. Now, this year you have women letting their insecurities be told. And this is the same thing happening. Now it's like everyone's got to chop and change for their sake. And the thing is, what's next? All right, what's next? It could have, like, in a few months or tomorrow, something happen where it happens to a homosexual person. Then it opens Pandora's box for pedophilia, all right? But this is all based upon around the image of the beast, all right? And it's funny because this is the sentiment I'm seeing online, all right? Of people basically, Jake, that, realizing that no one fucking cares about you, man. Excuse me in my, quote unquote, swearing. I can't stop thinking about seeing the name Sarah and not Blessing. All right, that Blessing is another woman, Nigerian woman that went, or Nigerian young woman that went missing on a beach and was raped. They said they didn't say she was raped, but her slippers were off and she was found dead or whatever. And they didn't investigate it. There was no news coverage, no nothing. Bieber, I'm not too sure what it is, but I can speak. I probably guess it's the same. Or Nicole, all right, same there. So it says, I can't stop thinking about all the vigils that were never had. I can't stop thinking about the sudden shock and outrage at police brutality. I can't stop thinking about when black lives will truly matter. right? And that really shows, no one cares about Jake, man. So this is the tweet that, I want to... Witnessing many people, white people, only just now realizing police are bad when black people marched for our lives not even a year ago. It's quite a bitter pill to swallow, I must say. All right, so they're seeing, but yeah, that's it, man. So, yeah, that's it on that. You can read the article. I'm gonna post a link, Lord willing. Spirit moved me to do that. But I'm gonna close out on this. So this is 2 Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. That's the point. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right, and that's what we're seeing right now. All these uproars and everything happening speaks to that. All right, that's the time that we're in. All right, so Lord willing, you're edified. Until the next one, I say shalom.
People off of the bandstand, you can see people getting a bit more agitated. A lot of people actually left at that point as well. The police waited until it was dark